interviews or write books and be serious. But when you start mixing that shit up, don't try to sneak in some Christian shit or some Muslim shit or some any other shit with me when I'm trying to come and laugh at you making fun of white and black people. Because really, these comedians that talk about race are talking about very serious issues that we face in this country. It's one of the critical issues in America today. The idea that blacks and whites they're never going to truly integrate. There's a culture. There's a culture. It's very hard. You know, I don't think we're ever going to truly integrate. I think we need to start looking at each other like stepbrothers, you know? Okay, I live with you, and you're just as important as me. True, true, true. All right, I get all that, but we're not from the same tree, really. And we are. I mean, humanity is at large. You know that. But culturally, we're across the forest from each other. And why don't we just accept our differences and even celebrate them, and certainly laugh at them, and just accept that we're separate? Because I think this forcing us to try to blend together so quickly and thoroughly, I think it's creating almost a caustic reaction of explosion backward away from that. We're doing something unnatural here. And I'm all against racism. I don't think any race is better than any other race, and I mean that sincerely. And if there is a God and I have to stand before him, I'll say that same thing, and he'll say, well, I know you're telling the truth there. Because I am. I mean, it's just that simple. I have seen, amazingly great, smart, intelligent, caring black people, and I've seen some really evil, fucked up, stupid white people, and vice versa. And, you have your bell curve. You want to read a controversial book, read The Bell Curve. It's about an 800-page fucking Herculean monster of a great white. But, boy, will that... and it involves a lot of statistics. And personally, Guy was talking about math earlier. I put some faith in statistics. Depending on the data collection methods and cross sections of populations and all that, there's a lot of formulas they use. You can get some real answers out of statistics. But what you have to do is you can't take one out of context. It has to always be in context with other statistics and environmental variables and that kind of thing. And what you begin to get is a very clear picture of what's really happening. Now, the why, that's always up for debate. How come it is that they're showing that blacks in America are on average 3.5, 4.5 points below whites on IQ? Why is that? Here's where opinions start flying. I don't even have an opinion about that. I don't even know if it's still true. It was when they did the study. But what I do know is that if you got to judge people, you're best off judging people as individuals. And that includes Muslims. And that includes religious fanatics from any religion. And that includes transvestites, even if they name themselves something like Levithian. You can't make judgments. I mean, you already got a picture in your head now, don't you? See, that's you doing judgment. But what if you meet this person and they have a voice like Barry White, but they move like Pee Wee Herman? You don't know. This is all going to be a surprise to you. I didn't think it would do that. Well, that's because you judged too early. Just reserve judgment. Wait for the actual thing to happen. Wait to get to know the person a little, and then if you have to, you can put them into a category. You can throw a label on them, put them on a shelf for safekeeping, pull them out when you need them, call it a fucking day. Yeah. I guess that was really my message. Oh, let's see what they're saying in the chat room, and I'm getting ready to get the fuck out of here because I want you people to know that for you tonight, because Guy Shea did point a high-powered rifle at me and tell me to do this show. And that's a freedom that I didn't have. 23 degrees. The real feel is 8 degrees. Let me see how much it dropped since the show started. 23 degrees is too few degrees. Ooh, the real feel has gone up to 12 degrees now. What the fuck is a real feel? I guess that calculates in humidity, wind, all that. But they don't say what, I need a link I can click. What is a real feel? What do you mean, AccuWeather? Is this what it would be if I were put in a vacuum with this particular humidity and wind condition? I mean, well, that wouldn't be a vacuum, would it? But, well, I guess you could move the air around. Well, there's really no air in a vacuum, so I guess my fucking eyes would pop out and my balls would implode, but what do you mean by real feel? Well, what's real? So what I'm feeling isn't real? Because I'm betting it feels like 23 degrees right now, which it is. But real feels 12 degrees. See, weather people, they had to try to find a way to do something more complex than say, "It's gonna be a little cloudy today. It might rain tomorrow. See you later." You know, so they did real feel. And I don't know what real feel is. I'm not yet. Fuck that. You know, it's, you want to talk about opinion? There's real feel's opinion. One other news story that I wanted to bring up to spread your horizon a bit on the news front is, look at this. This is National Geographic. Are oil and gas industries behind the rare Texas earthquakes? Scientists probe injection wells with possible ties to fracking in search for cause. Two things about this. First, I hate news articles that ask questions, but do not have the answer to that question. What they should do, if they want to be honest, but they can't because the hook will fail, is to say, blah, 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 earthquakes, we don't know. Not certain yet. Go ahead and tell me up front what your conclusion is. Now I want to come and read the thing. But no, you got to trick people. People got to get tricked. It's sad that people are so I just hate that we have to, that we're so gullible, that a little hook, a little question, ooh, did they find the answer? Is this really causing earthquakes, or do they not know yet? Oh my goodness, I just cannot stand the suspense. I've got to go read the whole article. Just fucking tell me up front. Who knows a news source that does that? Because I'm going to become fucking a slave to them. I swear to God. I'm just so tired of these. You know, there was an article a few months ago. Scientist proves that black holes don't exist or some bullshit. The scientist didn't prove anything like that. She brought into question a couple of the principles around black holes. And what? That's proof they don't. Get the fuck out of here. Einstein's fapping himself in his grave right now, even with no brain. He doesn't care. You don't need a brain to fap. Pa, 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 pa. You know? Did you know he used to smoke cigarettes? Actually, he used to smoke a pipe that he would go out and collect cigarette butts on the ground for, and roll the tobacco out of it and put it into his pipe. Did you know that? It was kind of cheap that way. Scientists are funny that way. They don't, you know, and there's a big scientist in me too that doesn't really care that much about physical acquisition, things you have. Doesn't really, not interesting. Interesting is what we can think about. Interesting is what we can do with our imagination and discourse. And interesting is finding out where we're broken and accepting it, and not letting it be something that we conveniently wipe under the carpet all the time. That's what's interesting to me. To you, interesting might be PS4. You know, maybe that's your thing. Anyway, I go through this article, and yeah, they don't have the answer. So they opened it with a question, and they closed it with the same question. Shut the fuck up. Okay, National Geographic, you fucked around with me. And Jake Tapper, why don't you and Nat Geo go sit in the corner and fap each other while wearing dunce hats? And at the same time, I would like to have several toddlers, well, that would be kind of, well, with blindfolds on, shooting you with Nerf rocket launchers, if that's at all possible. And I would like the rockets to be covered in alcohol and lit on fire, because, you know, alcohol doesn't burn that high heat. You probably live. So we just want to beat you up a little without killing you, in a fun way, much like kids hitting at a piñata, but different. You know what I'm saying? All off the top of the head. This is what we do. Pardon? Life on Mars. Scientist offers different take on Curiosity images. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? But when you read through the fucking article, all the scientists say is, we're not so sure there really was life on Mars, that's for sure. And looks like this report that came out seems awful open to the idea that there was life on Mars, and we think they should be a little more restrained. That's about the whole fucking flavor of this article. Was this really worth it? I mean, should this is an entire page of the LA Times, this thing. I can't stand it. I can't stand what they're doing with news. Here, I got something big for you. Yeah, it's not really that big. It's not big, is it? No, just a little thing. It's kind of like if you're going to watch a porn and you see Ron Jeremy walk in, he drops his drawers and you see an acorn and you're like, wait the fuck a minute. That's how I feel. I've been robbed. I had expectations. Expectations are the worst things you can have, because that's what creates just about all human angst. You wanted things to be a certain way, you expected them to be a certain way, didn't turn out that way, now you're pissed. Don't have expectations. That's simple. I'm going to stop having expectations of newspapers and media sources, but if I do that, I'm going to have less questions to ask of them, and that's going to put us on a different path here. Charlie Hebdo is heroic and racist. Don't forget that, and I am going to share that with you fuckers in the chat room, because you fuckers are some of the most vicious people there are when you have to go after somebody. And I'm glad you come to my show. Hi, Strope 3, that's African. I can't read numbers with letters. Don't do that to me. Jake Tapper, he used to be ABC's chief political reporter, used to read his blog, good reporter. Hey, Barco, welcome. Jake Tapper, like I said, I gave him a B. I gave him a B as a grade for a reporter, but we got into a little Twitter war today. He was a bit of a dick, and you'll have to listen to the beginning to hear that part. However, I do want to make sure on the way out here that I offer my sincerest fuck you to Muslim extremists. You're the ones who are treating 10-year-old girls like they're baseball cards. You're the ones who will shoot and kill people and maim them and hang them for exercising their freedom of speech and religion, or trying to leave your religion. You're the ones who will indiscriminately kill anybody that probably and sometimes do include people from your own religion, and think your God's going to be okay with that. So you're stupid and you're pussies. I want to make sure you understand that I'm telling you, you're not courageous and you're idiots. So write that down in your personal journal as something that Kevin Kierstead said about you, ISIS, and your bitch of a husband, Osiris. Yeah, I said it. Are you going to exercise your freedom, folks? Kevin A. Kierstead, do you like the news guy? He's all right. I got a weird message from the news guy one time. He said he had kind of beaten me up on one of his shows, and I said, that's okay, but I'm not really attracted to shows that assault me. Why would I want to listen to that? I also don't listen to shows that praise me, although Guy does sometimes, and I think it's because deep down, Guy and I are running on parallel channels. One that is committed to truth, regardless of the difference in politics and social views. We run on channels of truth, and that's what Guy Shea and I have in similar. Or in common, not in similar. That's not a phrase, but in common. And if you listen to our shows, you're going to detect those parallels. You're also going to detect another parallel, which is the speed of the movement of our show. If you want a radio show to be interesting, first of all, he has his shit together. He's got all the sound effects. He's got the fucking Mexican midget DJ soundboard guy, okay, Pedro. I have none of that. But I will have my shit together eventually. It's just going to take longer than I thought originally. So, I'm working on it. But it takes things like this to really get me kind of excited. The thing in France, I'm really sorry to the French people. It just makes me sad because I see that as America. I don't, not like our lapdog or anything. I can just picture Americans in that office being shot up. And we've had that here, okay? We've got something called the United States Postal Service. You ain't seen shit until one of those motherfuckers snaps France. But let me tell you this. In this particular case, even though I don't agree with some of your bitchy social behavior from 2000 to 2010, I'm behind you. I'm with you. You're our allies. Fuck these people who can't take a joke. And if you want to know where my heart is, ask me if I would give my American life to defend a French ally's right to practice his or her freedom of speech. And the answer is yes, I would. They are our allies. The UK is our allies. We have a lot of great allies, and we need to treat them like true brothers, not stepbrothers like black people. That's a whole nother show, though. Well, what do you say? Nimbusters fucking destroyed the BWC and leaving their ID behind. Come on. Do you think that was a setup, Barco? I don't know if these guys were that smart, but they could have been like one reporter, which CNN should be fucking Conjecture News Network now. I just made that up, but it's true. Maybe they were trying to lead them to a big finale. Okay? A giant shootout with explosions at the end. So they left these little breadcrumbs. Or they could have been trying to mislead them. Who knows? To me, it does seem kind of conspicuous to leave